Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. This time we're taking a look at the 1991 Nissan Skyline GTS-4. This is an R32. It feels like we haven't had a four-wheel drive R32 in forever. But we finally have one, the GTS-4. This is our second to last R32 we're going to run. After this it's just a classic GTR, which you can probably tell what's going to happen with all of the sort of final GTRs for their class. But anyways, the GTS-4 is one of those that you can buy as a first car, and it makes for a pretty darn good first car, to be honest. I think this makes about 210 horsepower stock. You got four-wheel drive, of course it's Skyline, so it handles pretty well. It is a great car to take you through the base game, but the question is, can it do anything more than that? Can this Hot Lap Classic, can this show that this car can compete with some of the upper echelons of the car market? Can this be one of the best bang for bucks that you can get in the game? If it can, then it can match something like the Mazda Familia Interplay, which is insanely quick. Then we might be onto something. Although, of course, you don't drive any of these cars around Motorsports Land, so maybe this test is truly meaningless. Who knows? Anyways, the race mod on this is very similar to that you find on the GTS-T Type M, and to be honest with you, I guess that's what we're going to be comparing this to, because there's not really a lot of this more base model four-wheel drive Skyline in the game. In fact, there is none now that the GT2 Plus mod has corrected the Skyline 280p ride to actually be rear-wheel drive, which is what it's supposed to be. So that is interesting. Four-wheel drive, 390 horsepower, 1,212 kilos. Pretty good stats. That's the sort of stuff that you'd expect to get it into the under 30 club. The question is, can it do that? To find out, it is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land track in order to set the best time it possibly can. Our current leader is the Suzuki Escudo Pikes Peak version. That car's at a time of a 26.540. The Nissan Skyline GTS-4 unlikely to beat that. In terms of where the Nissan Skyline GTS-4 is going to go, the GTS-T Type M set a time of a 30.078. Now again, remember that is a rear wheel drive Skyline, so this has the advantage of four-wheel drive and being smashed into a wall, so now it weighs slightly less. Yeah, straight out of the gate, I am noticing this is quite understeery. That's not usually a trait we see in Skylines. I'm quite surprised by that. Usually Skylines are just too rear-wheel drive bias round the corners, and so they sort of slide out on you in unexpected ways. Whereas with this, it seems to have a bit of an opposite effect. The amount of power this has should hopefully still sort of make this a reasonable contender towards the front. I'm hoping this isn't like a Toyota ST185 situation where this car is just ungodly slow for no particularly discernible reason. But yeah, first lap with this, 30.044. Okay, not all hope is lost. It is still pretty quick. That is going to be like a fun sort of bank of cars to have a look at once this sort of show is done and gone, is the cars you can buy for under 10,000 credits, how they all sort of shape up next to one another. What actually is the quickest starter car? Because I'm going to guess this is going to be pretty high up there, judging by the way it drives, or judging by the lap time. Again, by the way it drives, it ain't as impressive as you think. It actually feels, dare I say it as well, a little underpowered. I find that quite rich, considering I've just driven a bunch of Nissan Micras. But yeah, a little bit underpowered, but we are going to get into that under 30 though, 29.901. Now that I'm sort of more used to it, it's not as bad. You just need to really watch your throttle discipline in the corners on this one. You accelerate too quickly, you're just going to go straight into a wall. You've got to sort of temper it and caress the throttle pedal, if you will, to try and get this thing around the corners. Alright, there we go, 29.901. To be honest with you, that was quite a tricky lap to pull out of this. I'm glad we did it, because it does mean it beats some surprising cars. That it is, like I say, it's a weird one. That there's definitely limitations to its chassis, and it's not going to be suited to everyone. I quite like an understeery car, but that is quite bad, to be honest, when it comes to like understeer. But if you can sort of drive around it, it isn't too terrible, I guess. According to that, could be a little bit quicker. I respectfully disagree a little bit with that, because I think with the way Sector 1 and Sector 2 feed into each other, you really need to go quite slow into Sector 1 in order to sort of maximise your exit into 2. So, yeah, not quite sure I agree with that, but 29.901 definitely isn't too bad of a time, anyway. A 29.901 will place this into 151st place. Goes in between the Nismo Stagia 260 RS and the Tommy Kyra R33. So it beats a Tommy Kyra. It's quicker than the Venturi Atlantique, quicker than the Golf Rally car, quicker than the Mercedes-Benz SLK 320, Alfa Romeo GTV, Tommy Kyra ZZ2. I mean, in terms of things quicker than it, there's nothing cheaper. I can tell you that for free. And I think, sort of, overall, that's probably the best starter car that we've had so far. It beats that 323 interplay by about 0.3 of a second. Admittedly, that interplay is only front-wheel drive and has less power than this. But still definitely something to consider. And it beats the ST185 as well, which I do find very surprising, because that car really should be, like, leagues above this, and it just isn't. So, yeah, pretty valiant effort from the GTS-4. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. Join me next time when I'll be driving something completely different. Until then, farewell.